Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into the world of sports betting in Russia, and let me tell you, it's a real head-scratcher. It's a story packed with contradictions, legal loopholes, and just massive amounts of money.
So let's just start with the central puzzle here. How can a market be worth billions and billions of dollars when, for the most part, it's actually illegal? That's the core contradiction we're going to unpack today.
And to give you a sense of the scale, let's just throw a number at you. 879 billion rubles. Back in 2022, that was the official revenue. That's well over 10 billion US dollars. So you know, right off the bat, we are not talking about some small back alley operation. This thing is a financial giant.
But then you have this. The law itself, in black and white, is super strict. Online gambling, banned. The only, and I mean only, exception is for a handful of sports betting sites that get an official government license. So, how do you square that with a $10 billion industry?
Okay, to make sense of this, you really have to wrap your head around one key idea. Russia basically has two betting universes running at the same time. You've got the official world, and then you've got the shadow world.
On one side, you have the completely legal, state-approved market. Every single payment is tracked. Every company has a license from the Russian government. But then, on the other side, you've got this huge, unregulated gray market. These are offshore companies, maybe with a license from a place like Curacao. Technically, it's illegal for Russians to use them, but they're incredibly popular.
And check this out. This table really drives the point home. You see these fully legal, licensed companies like BetBoom sitting right next to giants like 1xBet, which is officially banned, and Melbet, which is operating in that illegal gray area. So for the average person looking to place a bet, they all just look like competing brands. It's confusing.
So, if you're a company, how on earth do you even operate in this environment? Well, this split market has created this wild landscape of really clear winners, some powerful outcasts, and even a few cautionary tales. First up, let's talk about one of the winners. BetBoom is a company that has totally mastered the official legal system. They're the definition of a domestic champion.
And look, the numbers here are just wild. We're talking about a company based in Moscow with over 5,000 employees. Their website gets more than 7 million visits a month. This proves that you can become a huge success story just by playing within the legal market. It's big business.
Okay, now for the complete flip side of that coin. Let's talk about an offshore giant, a Russian-founded bookie that is famously and very officially banned in its own home country, 1xBet.
And this is where the story gets truly weird.
1xBet has no Russian license. Its founders have even faced legal action there. But despite all that, it is still one of the most powerful and recognizable betting brands for Russians. It's like a ghost in the machine. It's not supposed to be there, but it is, and it's everywhere.
So that leads to a really important question. What happens when a huge, global player tries to do everything right and enter the legal market? Well, the story of Bet365 is a pretty fascinating cautionary tale.
I mean, they did everything by the book. They got the official license. They launched in March of 2021. But less than a year later, poof, they were gone. They pulled out completely. It's just a stark reminder that even for a global powerhouse, Russia's legal market can be incredibly volatile.
Okay, so you've got this chaos, right? How does the government even try to get a handle on the legal side of this industry? Well, they've got one very specific and very powerful tool in their toolbox.
And that tool is a system called TSUPS. Now, the easiest way to think of it is as the government's financial gatekeeper for betting. It's a central hub that has to process every single ruble for all legal bets. The bottom line is simple. If your money doesn't flow through TSUPS, it's not a legal bet. Period.
So the whole legal system is built on this. It's kind of like a three-step dance. First, the bookmaker needs that official license. Second, every single payment, deposits, withdrawals, everything has to go through the TSUPS system. And because of that, step 3, the state can see all the winnings, which means they can be taxed. The entire system is designed for one thing: control.
And because of this regulated system, we actually get a really clear picture of what Russians are legally betting on. And no big surprise, football is king. It absolutely dominates. It's followed by national obsessions like ice hockey.
But what's really interesting is that growing slice for esports. It shows you just how much this market is evolving.
So, where does this all leave us? It leaves us with a market that's just locked in this constant state of tension, this precarious balance between the government's desire for control and the borderless reality of the internet.
You know, at the end of the day, this quote from the source material really says it all. The core issue here is this friction, this clash between what a country wants to control within its borders and what a global internet actually allows. And that's not an easy problem to solve.
And so this explainer ends right where we began, staring at this persistent paradox. On one hand, you've got the law. It's clear, it's strict, it's built around a tightly controlled system. And on the other hand, you have the reality, a messy, globalized market where millions of people are using illegal sites, and new tech like crypto betting is creating even murkier gray areas.
Ultimately, this whole Russian betting maze forces us to ask a much, much bigger question. And it's one that applies to pretty much every country on Earth. In an age where money and information can move across the globe in an instant, can any national law, any regulation ever truly keep up with digital reality? That really is one of the great challenges of our time.